Paula Pant, the host of the Afford Anything podcast, likes to answer questions her listeners send in. This is a special episode where she also has Joe Saul-Sehy from the Stacking Benjamins show join in the fun.
Hi, Paula. I'm currently in the throes of paying off $10,000 in credit card debt and $48,000 in student loans, which have an interest rate of 5%. I'm 32 and have about $32,000 in retirement accounts. I'm contributing only 5% a year, though, and I only have a $1,000 emergency fund while I work to pay the credit card debt off. I'll definitely up those once the credit card debt is gone this winter. Meanwhile, my dad is fairly well off and has offered money out of my eventual inheritance to pay off some of my student loans. We've done this before, so I know that it won't be awkward, although I don't really enjoy doing it. I'm wondering if it would be better to take that money and put it towards my retirement rather than the student loans, given the low interest rate. Can you walk me through how to figure out which I should apply any money towards, or if it even matters if I choose the loans over my retirement savings? Thanks so much. Bye.
What a great question.
Awesome. Yeah.
It is so difficult when you deal with family members. And I know exactly how she feels because this question, when I was a financial planner, I'd have clients that would worry about this. So I don't know anything about the family dynamic, Paula. So I think I have to punt on that piece and take Steph's word for it that it's not going to be awkward and assume that she should probably go ahead and do it because they always say that a family member loan, if it isn't awkward, is at much better terms because they know you and they love you. And if things go differently, it's not going to affect your overall credit.
Well, it sounds like this isn't a loan. It sounds like this is a gift.
Yeah. Gift against inheritance, it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. And generally speaking, gifts are better than loans because with a loan, there's the expectation of getting paid back. With a gift, there is no expectation of reciprocity.
Even if it were a loan, I still like loans from family members if it's not awkward. You can create a ton of awkward. And for that reason, I usually tell people when family members come to them and I'm the advisor of the person on the other side saying, hey, my brother-in-law wants to borrow money from me. I say, no, you shouldn't do that. That's a bad thing. Yeah. But if you can get somebody to do it, I really like the terms and the credit there. But if she's going to do it, there's two things I look at. I look at cash flow, number one, and then after cash flow, you look at interest rate. So if paying off that student loan at 5% creates so much better cash flow that now you can take that money to build your net worth more quickly, then it's not about the interest rate. But if the cash flow is, minimal or is okay, isn't a big deal, then I go for an interest rate decision, which is student loans at 5% versus having retirement, which over long periods of time, if we're modeling, we'll use 8, but historically over lots of periods of time has been even 10. Well, certainly then putting the money toward the retirement so that you don't have to worry about that and can focus on the student loans is a better idea. Those are the conditions I use when I'm making that decision.
The way that I would answer this, first of all, I hear two components to your question. Part of it is, should I accept this offer? And the other part is, if I accept it, how should I direct this money? As far as the should I accept the offer, unlike Joe, I'm very much against both giving and receiving loans from family, simply because it has the potential to destroy relationships, regardless of which end you're on. But again, to me, it sounds like this is not a loan, it's a gift. So assuming that I'm understanding that correctly and assuming that both of you also share that same understanding, then gifts are different than loans.
Yeah, and the big key for me there, Paula, with my answer was when she said, this has happened before and it's not awkward, right?
As to the other side of the question, the thing that I tend to key in on is the interest rate. And so the interest rate on your student loans is 5%. If you were to invest it in a broad market index fund through a retirement account, we're talking around 8%-ish over a long-term aggregate average. Now, the spread there, the risk premium, is not very large. So if you were to pay the student loans off, you would have a guaranteed 5% return, so to speak, because you are guaranteed to be saving that in interest. If you were to invest it, you would historically over a long-term aggregate average receive around 8%, but there's a little bit of risk there. The difference between 5 and 8% is not that great, which means to me, it's a toss-up. I don't think you would really go wrong either way. If your student loan interest rate was 3%, my answer would be very different. But at 5, I don't see a slam dunk argument in either direction. I think you would be just as good going either way. Now, that being said, of course, the first thing I would do with any money that you got is pay off the credit card, but it sounds like you already know that. And it also sounds like your plan is, number 1, pay off the credit card, number 2, beef up the emergency fund, and number 3, pay off the student loan. So I'm assuming that within your question, what you're asking is, should the number 3 position be pay off student loan versus save more for retirement? Because the number 1 and number 2 positions in terms of priorities are certainly pay off the credit card and beef up that emergency fund a bit so that you can avoid future credit card debt.
Amen. Preach.
Hey, did you enjoy this excerpt from the Afford Anything podcast? Then be sure to subscribe to Paula's YouTube channel. Not only is every podcast episode and Ask Paula question released here on YouTube, other creative deep thought videos are created just for you. Remember, you can watch anything, just not everything. Fill your YouTube viewing time with more videos to make you think and grow so you can afford anything. Go ahead, hit that little red subscribe button. We'll take care of the rest.